So can we start out by talking a little bit about Ballets with a Twist and the company history, maybe?
Sure. I've had the company has had 2 incarnations. I did a few European tours when I was still performing in the 80s. And then I opened a school and had a pretty successful school. And then my costume designer said, Marilyn, it's now or never. Either you get your company back up or we're going to lose the opportunity. And I knew she was right. So Dory had been with me since about 2005, 2006, doing a few performances, mocktails and cocktails. We were performing yearly at the Tribeca Film Festival and a few places here and there, and then I decided to get all my repertory together and audition dancers and start that up. And as Dory had mentioned, that was in 2009. Right at this show we have now at Hamilton, we have a company of 13, as well as the 6 children. So we've been touring with about 12 dancers.
So one of your performances is called Cocktail Hour.
Yes.
Now it's based on how many drinks? Like,
I think now we have 20 drinks.
Wow,
and
it's grown.
Yeah, and I'm getting ready next week to start the 21st.
So how did the whole concept come about? Because it's really interesting to think about all of these different vignettes as separate cocktails with that inspiration.
Yeah. Well, it's very hard to say because it's so natural a concept for me that it was never an idea. It was just something that occurred.
Now you're all performers. What is your favorite part of performing?
Definitely being on stage. I mean, the high you get from being on stage, like that's after, you feel great when it goes well.
Yeah.
And knowing you wanted to do it as a kid and that you're able to do it as an adult is like really satisfying.
Yeah.
There's a really cool moment if you've rehearsed enough where you kind of walk off stage and you don't really know what happened because you're so in it.
That's true.
It's meditative almost. That's my favorite part of performing.
Do you ever forget, like there's an audience in front of you when you're performing, or is it always sort of in your,
Really?
Sometimes you get on stage and you're like, okay, we're performing now. Like, this is not a rehearsal. There are people watching.
It can be so dark, you don't know.
True.
The lights are so bright on you that you're like, oh, there actually is people out there. And you're,
I think what I really love about your performances too is like as an audience member, you get these really unique and beautiful visual experiences. Each dance is so different between the costuming and the music and the feel of the piece, and you do get the sense of the particular drink or the culture that drink comes from. But you do this with such almost no set or props, which is really interesting too, that you walk away with this sense of this beautiful, incredible visual experience. We are here with Marilyn, Stephen, and Catherine from Ballets with a Twist, and we were just speaking a few moments ago with some of the dancers and you, Marilyn. And one of the things we were talking about was you said that you were choreographing the 21st cocktail, which is pretty amazing.
It'll be great for the press release, 21st century cocktail.
So you've got us really intrigued. And we just wanted to hear a little bit about what that collaborative process is like when you're starting a new cocktail.
I really love the void, the fear of walking into the void and facing it and embracing it. So the clear palette is a major muse and inspiration, which makes it extremely frightening for my collaborators. And I will now pass it on.
Yeah, I think I see that as it's almost like the piece of marble's there, and it just gets carefully sculpted, and it's almost like what doesn't work, what doesn't work, what doesn't work, so that slowly, slowly it reveals itself. And the fabulous thing is that it's everything is fair game. You know, accidents are fair game. We get tons of happy accidents that happen.
So the entire company really functions as one team.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They do, and they're pretty much at every single rehearsal. So they have to really, they have to give themselves. They have to, you know, they're there, and they go through. I mean, I didn't realize this, but I think there were some rehearsals where people were taking bets that'll never make it into the piece. You know what I mean? Oh, that's never going to make it. You know.
Yeah.
And then usually those are the things that did end up, fortunately or unfortunately, but yeah.
So off screen, or I should say off camera, we were talking just a little bit about the uniqueness of Hamilton Stage here in Rahway as a performance venue. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you feel like makes that theater special for Ballets with a Twist?
Sure. Well, one thing is when Marilyn and I first came out and saw the stage, I got extremely excited because it's a deep, large stage, yet with an intimate audience, you know, a 200-seat theater. So it's a chance for someone to be right there with us, but yet we can put on a full-blown show, not like sometimes in Manhattan, you know, people are performing in schools with pillars in them and, you know, these hip places, but people would kill for a stage like this in Manhattan.
I like the dressing rooms at Hamilton Stage. The dressing rooms at Hamilton Stage are my favorite dressing rooms of any place we've ever played, and I'm not kidding. It's just
They are nice.
heaven. It feels like, when we walk in there, it feels like home. It's really wonderful. And every place we go, I really miss that Hamilton Stage.
It's so well thought out, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so well planned. It's just, and it's fresh. They have these great green couches in there. It's just such a fun place to be in. And we can all hang out in the main room, and then they have their separate dressing rooms to the side. Oh. I could bring that with us everywhere. It's just great.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Well, we're honored that you thought to have us, because we feel like, as Catherine said, that it's a special place for us, so we're glad you feel the same.
Absolutely. We look at Ballets with a Twist as, you know, one of Rahway's own, for sure. So we're really pleased.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. So first, we'd like to thank you, everyone, for being with us today. We're talking with some of our young ballerinas from the two performances with Cocktail Hour, Mint Julep, and what's the other one?
Margarita.
Margarita, right, okay. And we're here with Marilyn and Dory. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Would you each say your name so they know exactly who I'm speaking of? I can do it, but I think the audience would prefer to hear from you.
Madison Ihas, Alexa Ihas, Vanessa DeHasten, Sarah Sicoli, Crystal Mascara, Kayla Dean.
Great. Thank you so much, girls.
Thanks, ladies.
Appreciate you coming today. Tell us a little bit about your involvement with these students and, you know, where they're from. We'd like to know a little bit about them.
Sure. Well, as soon as we found out we were going to be in the inaugural season of the Hamilton Stage, we definitely wanted to use the local talent, and we have two ballets that specifically use children. They're not recital pieces, they are concert pieces. The Margarita was a piece that I had made some time back, and I was very excited to revive it. The Margarita uses children as spiritual conduits. They are goddesses in training. Therefore, they would never do anything so rough and ready as a competition move. So it's introduced them to an entirely different type of performance. it's pretty mind-blowing.
And this, you were saying some of the girls have performed 3 seasons with you, some 2, and some are new to this season. So do you have other dances that you think will be added into the mix of cocktails which will feature young dancers?
Well, it's such a good question because as the girls are growing, for instance, the Margarita girls right now are exactly the same height, and this is a precious time which will not last. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think about it, but I never want to make a piece for the purpose of adding children in it. But if there's an opportunity, I definitely will, because these kids are totally worth it. Yeah.
So, Dory, can you take us through like what a typical performance rehearsal would be like with your girls here?
Yes. So basically, I come in and give them a little warm up. We like a bar, ballet bar, some ankle exercises. We spell our names with our ankles, all these things. We go in a circle, and then now since a lot of them know the pieces, we'll just go through each part without music, resetting it, cleaning it, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll add the music and we'll just put the whole piece together.
Good job, Mom.
Yeah, can we give them a round?